My friends, we are potentially, by night's end, nights is a key word right there, 1 point away from taking over first place in the Western Conference. The Oilers, that close. A game decision between the Golden Knights and Calgary Flames. A regulation win for the Flames, may I say, away from taking home 1 point and a win on against Columbus and potentially some other stuff happening to be in first place in the Western Conference. The Oilers right now at 72 points on the season, sitting right behind the Vegas Golden Knights, and the Dallas Stars and Golden Knights will play it out on when is that? Will that be Saturday or Friday? Saturday they will play. Obviously, if the Flames win in regulation today, that does us some huge favors. And then, yes, sirree, the Oilers can win again Saturday morning against the Columbus Blue Jackets. And for the time being, take home first place in the Western Conference for the first time, I believe, all year. Wouldn't that be something, friends? This is Dolynny TV. Good evening, good afternoon if you're tuning in a little bit later in the, or earlier in the day, I guess that would be, and good tomorrow to our friends all the way across the globe. I know we had some great feedback on that comment the other day, so thank you so much to everybody tuning in all across the world today. What I must say is I'm impressed, right? I think a lot of us would have expected a much different effort out of the Oilers tonight, given that first goal going in. And then the Oilers roar back to score 7 straight before Pittsburgh scores their next one. And the final finishes 7-2 between the Penguins and Oilers. Friends, before we get too much further, of course, like I said, this is Dolynny TV, and what I'd love to have you do is hit that subscribe button here on the channel, stick around and be part of the channel moving forward. We've amassed over 10,810 of us Crazy Oilers fans here on the channel, and I'd love to have you join us for the stretch run of the season. My friends, we are only a few games away from the month of February wrapping up, which means we've got exactly less than 2 months of hockey left in the regular season to wrap up this NHL season and get the Oilers into the playoffs. And hey, like I said, the best is yet to come. If we are just about 1 point out of first place in the Western Conference, potentially by end of game on the game against Columbus on Saturday, if the Flames can win today, there's some good stuff about to come down the pipe for the Edmonton Oilers, whether that be trade deadline acquisitions or not. There is a lot to talk about here with the Oilers and a lot to like. Obviously, the Oilers, well, they've done very, very well for themselves. Points in 5 straight games, a total of 7 out of a possible 10 points in the past 5 games. That's the big thing. Everybody was all concerned. The Oilers were on a 4-game losing streak. Send it. Sell the season. The Oilers are doomed. They aren't going to make the playoffs. They're going to choke it. Oh my goodness, they're terrible. Well, friends, here's the thing. When you lose 1 in regulation and then proceed to get the next 3 straight in overtime or a shootout as a loss and get that point, that Bettman point comes in handy. And despite the Oilers being technically in 7th pole right now entering the game today, they now jump up there right up against, I guess, Chicago and Winnipeg not, or Colorado and Winnipeg not playing until tomorrow. The Oilers jump into, for the time being, tied for second with the Dallas Stars. Obviously, the LA Kings don't play until tomorrow either, so I think things are looking pretty good for the Oilers today. Well, New Jersey beat LA, and obviously the scoreboard watching will continue for the rest of the time, but it was a big-time victory. The Oilers looking good. That's what you need to know right off the hop 4 minutes in. So let's go recap this one against the Pittsburgh Penguins. It was a one that I got home too late. Obviously, dinner was interrupting too. There was a bunch of kind of mess around things that kind of interrupted being able to stream at any point. By the time I got dinner done, it was the start of the 3rd period. We were up 6-something. So I just decided, you know what, we'll just let it coast. I don't need to watch the Oilers choke it. They tried to choke it. Pittsburgh had 2 disallowed goals. One that was an offside on a kick play at the blue line, and another a high stick by Jeff Carter in the middle of the slot that was above his shoulders and the crossbar. But it all started, and this I heard on the radio, called by Cam Moon and Bob Stauffer on the way home from work. Chris Letang on a bad giveaway forced by Evgeny Malkin and Brian Rust by the looks of it. Ended up scoring a high slot shot is what I think I remember. Again, I heard it, I didn't see it, so the visual side of me is struggling there, but I think it was a pretty big goal for the Pittsburgh Penguins, 1:05 in, and they really set the tone. But there's one thing that was buzzing around there that first half of that first period that kind of had Bob Stauffer concerned for the Pittsburgh Penguins' outcome tonight, and that was Connor McDavid, who was on an absolute mission tonight. I mean, you know what? Realistically, you look at the past 4, 5, 6 games the Oilers have played against the Penguins, Connor has brought his best stuff every single game against Sidney Crosby, and tonight another no exception situation there where Connor McDavid scores his 45th on the power play from Tyson Barrie and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. It was a beauty of a goal off the back of the helmet of Tristan Jarry, who was chased in this hockey game, by the way. And then Leon Draisaitl would score another goal, batting it out of midair, his 35th of the year. McDavid picks up an assist. Tyson Barrie picks up both assists on both power play goals in the first period, and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins has assist number 44 of the season. And then all of a sudden, things just avalanched for the Oilers and the depth role players in that second period. Kyler Yamamoto from Zach Hyman and Darnell Nurse. Well, hey, that's Darnell Nurse's 24th assist of the year. Don't mind me. And Devon Shore then picks up his first goal since St. Patrick's Day last season against the Buffalo Sabres, with Jesse Puljujärvi getting his 9th assist of the year. And yeah, again, another big-time marker for Jesse Puljujärvi, just continuing to put up points in his past few games here in the bottom 6. Warren Foegele, his 10th goal of the year from Leon Draisaitl's 52nd assist of the year, and Brett Kulak's 13th. So Kulak, who's been on a little bit of a heater himself, I think he's got like 5 points in the past 10 games or something like that. I'd have to double check the stats, but he's been piling up the assists. And then Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, his 28th goal of the year from Connor McDavid's 63rd assist. So Connor has 4 points in this one. We'll get to the other point in a matter. But you look at this, Connor McDavid up to a solid 109 points following a penalty shot goal. He had a breakaway that Brian Dumoulin, just kind of risky play, took him out and ended up drawing the penalty shot against. And for Connor McDavid, he makes no mistake on Casey DeSmith, who had come in the third period of play for the Pittsburgh Penguins, a mercy pool for Tristan Jarry, who just could not seem to get support from teammates or himself that game. And oh my goodness, it was a big time goal, beauty of a goal as he toe dragged around the pad, did Connor McDavid of Casey DeSmith to score that penalty shot goal. And then yeah, you know what? Hey, you know what? When you have a night, you have a night. And obviously the Pittsburgh Penguins stars are going to shine in a game against against Connor McDavid when Sidney Crosby, Evgeny Malkin, and Chris Letang are all on the ice. Chris Letang picks up a beauty of a goal from Sidney Crosby on the power play, and Evgeny Malkin late after, I believe it was Yamamoto who had taken the penalty. I'm not exactly sure. We could double check that, I guess. Yeah, it was Yamamoto, 2 minutes for hooking. And the penalty's really not costing the Oilers too bad tonight. 1 power play goal against on 4 attempts, so keeping right around that average against. And Stuart Skinner once again improves the win-loss record to 15, 11, and 4 on the year. So 19 games with points out of the 30 he has decisions in. Not a bad little record for a rookie goaltender looking to push this team to the playoffs. When you're looking at the ice time tonight, look at this, my friends. You want to see something that's a pretty big night. Yamamoto, right? He had a goal. Devon Shore had a goal. Derek Ryan had a pretty good night. Jesse Puljujärvi played 15 minutes and 23 seconds of ice time. So I don't know what the headlines are going to be on Twitter today, but I would assume they're going to be very positive in the direction of Mr. Jay Woodcroft, who's taken some heat for his ice time against Jesse Puljujärvi over the past little bit, but I'm very much so looking forward to seeing some positive reaction only out of tonight's hockey game for the Edmonton Oilers. A 7-2 final against the Pittsburgh Penguins. Of course, for Stuart Skinner, it doesn't do the full job, because for Stuart Skinner, he kind of gets hosed a little bit by the Pittsburgh Penguins. Really just not having a great night. He only gets a .917 save percentage, 24 shots against, and of course that last goal going in is a real kicker. The Oilers, rough night again on the face-off dot. I think, right? You have Connor McDavid at 62.5%. You have Leon Draisaitl at 54.5%, and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins taking 7 draws and winning 4 out of 7 of them, so at 57.1%. Other than that, it really wasn't a great night, and I think the Pittsburgh Penguins, all 4 of their guys who won draws were all above 52.6%. So another rough night there for the Edmonton Oilers in the face-off draw. Friend, everybody, I think that's about all I got to say. You know what? We're going to take the night off from the rumors. We're going to sit down, relax a little bit, enjoy an Oilers win, go to bed a little bit earlier tonight, and have ourselves a good night, enjoying the fact that the Edmonton Oilers have won another hockey game. That's points in 5 straight. We could potentially, with the result in play, if the Calgary Flames win, which is a detriment to the wild card race, but also a big-time factor for the Oilers in terms of winning the Western Conference. Well, yeah, right, it's one of those, pick your poison, and I think I'd prefer the Flames somehow, some way to win tonight as opposed to the Golden Knights, and let's go chasing them down. The Oilers now with 72 points on the season, and obviously absolutely crushing along here, points in their last 5 straight games. So that's where we sit tonight, friends. I'm Tyson. This is Dolynny TV. I could yammer on all night. You already know that, though. You have yourself a great rest of your evening. If there's any big news, we'll talk to you after. But for now, I am up on out of here.